So a year and 8 months ago, I made a video called, "Is It Okay to Eat Animals?" And in that video, I talk about how I went running and the other side encouraged me to eat the lean ground beef that was in my refrigerator. And when I freaked out over the angelic realm encouraging me to eat red meat, they actually requested that I make a video at that point talking about whether or not it was okay to eat animals. And according to the angelic realm, it is okay to eat animals. Their souls agree before they incarnate to be consumed. They do not agree to being abused, but their souls agree to be consumed before they incarnate as animals. So the animal rights activists thought I was a total douche for creating that video, and that's why I wanted to make another follow-up video to that a year and 8 months later, just to clarify some of the things that I've been saying, because I know my messages are quite contradictory. When I work out, the other side approaches me and they encourage me to eat lean red meat after I work out. And I Googled it, and supposedly that's the best time to eat protein, is when your muscles are recovering. When I had a cold, they encouraged me to eat lean ground beef, claiming that it helped fight viruses and bacteria. Another reason is they keep pointing to my brain, saying that it's good for mental clarity and cognition. Another thing is they're pointing to my muscles, saying that it's good for muscle development. The divine likes the protein found in animal meat. He likes it. It's a complete protein. It's a bunch of amino acids in there. I'm not a doctor. There's a bunch of amino acids in there. He's saying it's absorbed by the body differently. It's metabolized differently. And he said, I designed the human body, so I know how it works. And he's saying that this animal protein was meant to be consumed. He's saying that it's not going against God's law. You do not have negative karma for doing it. And he's saying that you need to be careful about walking around pushing nutritional advice on people, because he considers that to be medical advice. So he said, if you are walking around encouraging everybody to be vegan, you better know who you're talking to. He's saying that there are several different health conditions out there where the vegan diet doesn't work for, or the vegetarian diet doesn't work for, or the Atkins diet doesn't work for. He's not pushing one diet on everybody, and he's asking you not to do the same. He's saying everybody's body is different. Everybody has different genetic things going on, environmental things going on, how they treat their bodies, etc. He's saying heart conditions, whatever. So he's being very specific in that he's not excited about everybody doling out nutritional advice. He's saying that I'm not pushing the Atkins diet on everybody. He's saying that he is pushing the Atkins diet on me because I have anemia and I have blood sugar issues. I have hypoglycemia. I guess I'm asymptomatic because I don't feel any symptoms of either of those anymore, thanks to him. But he's saying that as a channel, what he needs from me is very particular. He needs me to be cognitively sharp. He needs my body not to have toxins. So he's very big on no sugar, no alcohol, low carbohydrate, and then high protein. So I understand the animal rights activists arguing that you can find that protein in other items. He's he's just saying, like, it's absorbed differently. He's saying that animal protein is just absorbed differently. Like, people just don't see it as unique. He does, because it's a complete protein. He keeps pointing to my brain. Something about, like, cognition and how it's absorbed by the brain. I'm not a doctor, you guys. Yeah, I mean, I have to stand behind what I channeled in that video, you guys. I'm not getting anything different. If anything, it's like the Atkins diet has really worked for me. And if you don't want to eat meat, that is your own free will. But the problem is, it's my job to keep you guys energetically sharp and clean. And in order to keep you guys energetically clean, I have to make sure you're attracting positive energy to yourselves. And if you're walking around casting shame at people for eating animal meat, you're not aligned with truth. You can press stop on this video, call me a douche, and walk away and ignore me, but I have to worry about the law of attraction with you guys. And you have to be aligned with truth. And I have to stand behind this truth. I'm not the kind of person chasing around cows with a fork and knife. I'm actually a fish person, personally. So that's why the other side does encourage me to eat more red meat, because they're saying I need it. Blood sugar, anemia, muscles, brain, whatever. So am I really particularly happy that I have to broach this subject at all? Not really. And I think part of that is because I'm just a fish person. Salmon see me coming and run away. So I think that's why, as a messenger, I feel bad, because it's like, dude, you know, can't believe I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place here, but I also feel the need to be honest and authentic with what I'm channeling and what I'm getting from the divine. Because you have to remember, it's like, I speak for the angelic realm. So they're not going to have me eat meat if I'm attracting negative energy to myself. They're not going to have me do it. I mean, if it's against God's law, the angelic realm's not going to have me do it. So that's where people are saying, oh, you're channeling negative entities and whatever. I'm really not. That would mean I was channeling negative entities for the last year and 8 months. I'm not. I stand behind what I'm saying. So I am an animal rights activist who eats meat, and I know to a lot of you that's a contradiction of terms, so I don't blame you for thinking I'm a douche. I understand, I get it. But speaking out for animals, giving them a voice, being an animal rights activist is really important to the other side. So I know this is where it gets confusing, but if you are helping animals, you have good karma times 10. It's like getting the cherry on the Pac-Man screen. Animal rights, giving them a voice, is a subject the other side is very, very passionate about, because it is a problem. Animals are extremely vulnerable. So no, they do not want people abusing animals. They want them treated humanely and with respect, and pretty much like the Native Americans treated them, with respect. They would honor their spirits, thank their spirits, etc. They would not abuse them. We abuse them. So if you're going to speak out about animals, please speak out about the abuse as opposed to the consumption, because that's how I feel you guys would be energetically the cleanest and really make the most difference. I guess the divine is saying, like, going after the consumer is like the wrong spot. You want to go after the abusers. And he's also saying that you need to be really careful about doling out medical advice, because he considers nutrition advice to be medical advice. And so he's saying you don't know who you're talking to. If you're pushing one diet on everybody, he's like, you don't know who you're talking to. He's like, how do you know? He's like, how do you know what their health conditions are? So he says, be careful about doling out medical advice. Like I said, I'm not pushing the Atkins diet on everybody. All I'm saying is that you do not have bad karma for eating meat. So, like I said, I want you guys to be careful if you run around saying that. I did Google a bunch of stuff that the divine said, because I'm not a doctor. So everything that I channeled, I did Google. And I did find out that after you exercise is the best time to eat protein while your muscles are recovering. I did find out that animal protein somehow helps your cognition some way. Like, I found that online. I did find that it helps anemia. I did find that it helps blood sugar levels. I don't know. I guess the more I researched online based on what I channeled, I was like, oh, that's why the divine had me do that. So there was a reason behind everything he guided me to. I mean, there were several other things he guided me to where I was like, that's why. And it wasn't meat. It was just like other food. But he's not excited about blanket statements for everybody. He's saying that, some people can have carbohydrates. Some people crash 2 hours later. Some people don't. He's saying like everybody's bodies respond differently based on, genetics, environment, how they treat their body, etc. So that's why he is not excited about blanket dietary statements either. But, I do have to be honest with you. It's like, for those of you who believed, that Jesus was a mortal who walked this earth, he ate meat. So if eating meat wasn't okay, Jesus wouldn't have done it. So he wouldn't. Jesus was a channel. He was being guided forward. If he wasn't guided forward, when his life was threatened, he would have shut the hell up and went back to being a carpenter. But instead, he ran around making those audacious statements and pissing everybody off, which is why they killed him. He was being guided forward. He was channeling. So the divine would have told him, hey, Jesus, stop eating meat. Knock it off. But I understand if you guys think I'm a douche. I really do. And I know that the animal rights activists are really just coming from a place of heart and goodwill and wanting to protect these vulnerable little creatures. I understand it, and I totally appreciate where you're coming from. But at the same time, again, I have to be really honest with what I'm getting. And more than anything else, it feels more medical. I have to be honest with you. It's like when I talked to the divine about this, the energy that came through was it's medical. I designed the human body. I know what fortifies it, how it fortifies it, etc. And animal meat has something to offer the human body. So if you want to get your protein from other sources and be a vegetarian or a vegan, by all means do that. But casting shame at people who don't. Another thing is it doesn't affect channeling. If eating animal protein did affect channeling, I would not be able to have a single bite. So, yeah. That would be the first thing that was cut out of my diet if it negatively affected my channeling. But that's where it felt like the divine was saying. It's like, my reason for this is medical. It's medical. Nutrition advice is medical. It has to do with the human body. So if you don't think it's necessary, that's fine. But I don't know. He feels very sensitive to people handing out blanket medical advice. Like he just said, like, one diet doesn't apply to everybody's bodies. So he's like, no, stop handing out that medical advice. Stop casting shame at people for eating meat. He's saying, like, you don't know what's going on with their bodies. You don't know how their bodies could benefit from that and how it's absorbed. And I don't know. People don't have bad karma for eating meat. They have bad karma for abusing animals. So that's why I want you guys to target the abusers as opposed to the consumers. And that's what he wants you guys to do. Target the abusers. They're the ones that have the bad karma. Their next lifetime will probably be an animal that's abused. They'll trade places with the animals that they're abusing. So you hear that, meat industry? You don't want to abuse those animals, because in the next life you'll probably come back as them. And then the tables will be turned. You'll see what it's like to be in their shoes, and then maybe you'll learn empathy. But there are humane ways of doing things. And, just to let you know, when I'm at the grocery store, I am guided to humanely raised meat. I mean, not like that makes you feel any better, because you're kind of like killing is killing. So I'm a jerk either way, but I am being guided to the lean, ground beef that's humanely raised. Free-range chicken, grass-fed, humanely raised. cows, whatever. So great. They just said this video was brought to you by Christine Pavlina's ego. Here's the thing. I wanted to create this video just to clarify some things and, of course, just be open and honest and authentic with you guys as far as where I am, what I'm channeling, what I'm getting, what the angelic realm is asking me to do, what the divine is saying, etc. But I don't really feel like they're 100% happy with me making this video. They just said this video is compliments of Christine's ego. And the reason they're saying that is because they feel like I'm making this video to cater to people's opinion of me. Well, Christine is afraid that people are going to think she's a douche, so she's making this video to clarify. And they're right. And one of the reasons why they're kind of annoyed with me right now is because this isn't how they raised me. This isn't how they trained me. This isn't how they raised me. In order to speak for them and in order to be a divine channel of truth, I gotta set my ego aside. And I can't really care what you guys think. So what you're looking at isn't really part of my purpose right now. Technically, you could say this video isn't clean. This isn't what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not supposed to be catering to public opinion about me. I'm supposed to deliver the truth. It's not my life purpose to address the opinion of that truth. It's my life purpose to deliver the truth itself. But I still wanted to clarify some stuff for you. If you think I'm less of a douche in the process, great, that means my ego's happy. But I still wanted to make this video just kind of clarifying in case you guys thought I was contradicting myself or whatever, because I do know it's weird for me to be an animal rights activist who eats meat. I get it. So take from this video what you will. I understand that, you're not really happy with what I'm channeling. You're doubting what I'm channeling. You think I'm talking to negative entities. I just wanted to let you guys know I understand. I get it. But, a year and 8 months later, the story hasn't changed, you guys. I'm even getting into, culinary arts right now. And culinary arts is involving, chicken, fish, meat. They wouldn't have me cook this stuff. You guys, they wouldn't have me go to the grocery store and buy this stuff. They would stop me. My stomach would get really tight. If I'm not aligned with truth, it's, my stomach would hurt. They would stop me. I guess the point I'm trying to make is after a year and 8 months, I'm still getting the same thing, you guys. If I channeled the wrong thing, I'd know. So it's the angelic realm is truth is truth. Not everybody's going to agree with it. Everyone's going to have opinions about it. I don't know, you guys. It's tough for me too. Look at animal rights. Look at protecting animals. People have bad pet karma. As you're cat or dog ignored, you have bad pet karma. So animal abuse is everywhere. Domestic animal abuse. Pigs, they're abused. Animal abuse is everywhere. So giving them a voice is very, very important. I just hope you guys focus on the abusers as opposed to the consumers, because that is the information that I'm channeling for you guys. So do with it as you will. And in the meantime, take care and be well. Thank you.